King Kong vs. the Giant Santa Claus, Clash of the Holiday Titans begins as a story no one expects but everyone secretly wants. It starts on a winter night when the world feels paused between celebration and chaos, when cities glow with lights and snow softens the sharpest edges of reality. Far above the clouds, a strange disturbance ripples through the sky, like the universe itself is holding its breath. Legends are about to collide, and neither of them knows it yet. King Kong stands atop his island domain, a colossal silhouette against the moonlit ocean. The wind howls around him, carrying unfamiliar scents, pine, smoke, metal, and something oddly sweet. Kong is no stranger to threats. Planes, ships, monsters, and men have challenged him before. But tonight feels different. The ground hums beneath his feet, not with fear, but with anticipation. Somewhere far away, something powerful has crossed into his world. At the same time, on the other side of the planet, the North Pole is in turmoil. The workshop that has run like clockwork for centuries is shaking as alarms ring out. Elves scramble, reindeer snort nervously, and the aurora above flickers in jagged patterns. Santa Claus, usually calm and jolly, steps outside into the snow, his red coat snapping like a battle banner. But this is no ordinary Santa. This is the Giant Santa Claus, an ancient guardian form awakened only when the balance of joy and fear tips too far in one direction. This year, the world has leaned heavily toward fear. Santa grows taller with every step he takes away from the workshop, expanding into a towering figure of mythic proportions. His boots crack glaciers, his breath turns the air into shimmering frost, and his sack, normally filled with gifts, now hums with old magic. He is not angry, but he is determined. A force of raw, untamed power has appeared on Earth, and Santa believes it threatens the fragile spirit that keeps humanity hopeful. That force, of course, is King Kong. The clash is set in motion when Santa's sleigh streaks across the night sky like a blazing comet, pulled by reindeer whose hooves spark against the clouds. Kong sees the light first, a fiery slash across the stars, and lets out a low, thunderous growl. Whatever is coming is big. Big enough to matter. The sleigh descends, snow spiraling into a blizzard as Santa leaps from it, landing on an icy coastline with an impact that sends waves crashing inland. For the first time in centuries, Santa Claus and King Kong lock eyes. The silence between them is heavy, broken only by the groan of shifting ice and the distant roar of the ocean. Kong beats his chest, a challenge and a warning all at once. Santa plants his massive staff into the ground, the bell at its top ringing with a sound that echoes through the air like a cathedral chime. Neither speaks, but both understand that this moment will decide more than just who walks away. The first strike comes from Kong. He charges with explosive speed, each step shaking the land, and swings a fist the size of a building. Santa raises his staff just in time, the impact sending a shockwave that scatters snow like powdered glass. The force knocks Santa back several steps, carving trenches into the ice, but he holds his ground. With a sweeping motion, Santa swings the staff in return, releasing a burst of shimmering energy that wraps around Kong like glowing ribbons. Kong roars as the magic tightens, frost creeping over his fur. He tears free with sheer strength, snapping the glowing bindings and hurling a chunk of ice the size of a mountain at Santa. Santa counters by lifting his sack and shaking it, releasing a cascade of oversized toys, rock-hard nutcrackers, iron sleds, and spinning tops, that collide with the ice midair, exploding into a storm of debris. The battle escalates fast. They move from the frozen coast into a nearby city, one decorated for the holidays and completely unprepared for Titans. Skyscrapers tremble as Kong swings from building to building, using them like stepping stones. Santa strides through the streets, his presence causing streetlights to glow brighter and Christmas decorations to come alive. Strings of lights wrap around lampposts and whip through the air like glowing lassos, trying to slow Kong down. Kong grabs a radio tower and swings it like a club, smashing it against Santa's shoulder. Sparks fly, and the sound echoes like a thunderclap. Santa stumbles, then laughs, a deep, booming laugh that carries warmth even in the middle of destruction. He slams his staff into the pavement, sending a wave of pure winter magic racing outward. The ground freezes instantly, encasing cars, trees, and streets in ice. For a moment, Kong slips. Santa seizes the opportunity, summoning a blizzard so thick the world turns white. Snowflakes the size of shields swirl violently, cutting visibility to nothing. Santa moves through it effortlessly, guided by ancient instinct. Kong, however, relies on raw senses. He listens, feels vibrations, smells the air. When Santa strikes from the side, Kong catches the staff mid-swing, their faces inches apart. In that moment, something changes. Kong sees not a conqueror, but a protector. Santa sees not a monster, but a guardian much like himself, misunderstood, feared, yet driven by instinct to defend what he calls home. Their struggle pauses, not because they are tired, but because they are thinking. Then the true threat reveals itself. From the torn sky above the city, a dark presence descends, feeding on chaos and fear. It is an entity born from humanity's worst impulses, drawn to the massive energies clashing below. Shadows pour out like smoke, twisting into a towering form even larger than Kong or Santa. Buildings crumble just from its presence, and the temperature drops as hope itself seems to drain from the air. Kong snarls, turning toward the new enemy. Santa's expression hardens, the warmth in his eyes replaced with resolve. Without a word, they understand. This fight was never meant to be between them. Kong attacks first, leaping onto the shadow entity and pummeling it with relentless fury. His blows land with physical force, but the creature absorbs them, reforming again and again. Santa follows, chanting ancient words as he raises his staff. Golden light pours from it, wrapping around Kong's fists, giving his strikes a glow that burns through the darkness. The battle becomes a dance of brute strength and ancient magic. The shadow retaliates, sending tendrils that wrap around Kong's limbs and slam Santa through a row of buildings. Santa rises, brushing off rubble, and opens his sack one last time. This time, no toys spill out. Instead, pure light floods the street, memories of joy, kindness, and belief manifesting as blinding energy. Kong roars and slams both fists into the ground, channeling all his strength into one final udar. Santa brings his staff down at the same time, the bell ringing louder than ever. The combined force tears through the shadow entity, ripping it apart in a burst of light that illuminates the entire city like a second sunrise. When the light fades, the sky is clear. Snow falls gently now, peaceful and quiet. The city, battered but standing, glows with holiday lights once more. Kong stands breathing heavily, fur dusted with snow. Santa approaches him slowly, no longer towering, but still immense. He places a hand on Kong's arm, a gesture of respect. Kong grunts softly, then nods. Santa returns to his sleigh as dawn approaches, the reindeer snorting eagerly. Before leaving, he turns back and gives Kong a small salute with his staff. Kong watches as the sleigh disappears into the sky, then lets out a final roar, not of rage, but of triumph. As the sun rises, the world wakes up unaware of how close it came to losing something far greater than buildings or cities. Somewhere deep in the human heart, belief burns a little brighter. And on a distant island, King Kong watches the horizon, knowing that legends don't always have to end in destruction. Sometimes, they end in understanding. And somewhere far above, Santa Claus smiles, already preparing for next Christmas, knowing that if the world ever needs its guardians again, they will answer the call, together.